Ladies and gentlemen, look who's back doing a Facebook Live using the laptop this time. We're using the laptop again because I've got a lot of stuff to show you this time around, and I don't want that reverse mirror effect that usually happens when I use the phone. I'm not wearing the glasses this time because I'm using the laptop and we've got the camera going on and all that kind of stuff. I don't want any glare interference. I will definitely still be able to see everything that I'm doing here. So, of course, I'm sharing some information for the baby DJs, the baby Yodas, the baby Skywalkers, all of that kind of stuff. People who are in the game for 5 years or less, the journeyman type of DJs. So I think this is information that will be pretty useful going down the road. Also, just kind of fun stuff. So before I really get into the meat of it, I'm just thinking back to several months ago when I made a post on Facebook talking about keeping your flyers. I'm still keeping all of my old flyers from the 90s and all that kind of stuff. And I kind of asked like a bit of a poll, who still keeps their flyers? And I had some good responses from that. It was very encouraging. Like, yeah, this is dope, right? Fast forward to just like 2 weeks ago when I did like a mysterious post, a photo of a folder, kind of like an aqua green folder. And, it's this information in this folder that was really, really cool. The way I came across the folder was that I was going through my file cabinet, just kind of looking for something, and I couldn't remember exactly which drawer it was in, so I just had to go through everything. I went through all the drawers, right? And when I came across this, I looked inside real quick, and I'm like, oh, snap, that's right, I did do this. This is too cool, and I got to share this at another time. And so the time is now. The sun is out. It's really nice and bright here in the basement. So I'm taking advantage of the daylight. And of course, with these last couple of days, with the sun being all out, even though it's cold, we still deal with it. We do what we got to do. But with the sun being out really, really bright, that gets me kind of extra motivated. After I get done with this video, I still have some other stuff to do, some homework type of things, and still taking advantage of the sunshine. So that's why today, in this moment right now, is a ripe time to have this discussion. So, let's get to it. This thing right here, what's so special about it? What's in this? What are the secret documents in this here folder that was in my filing cabinet? Well, it's some stuff all about me, this DJ Purple guy. So I guess I could start with what was on the left side of this thing and then go to what's really even more amazing on the right side. So now on this left side here, I've got a sheet of paper, and this is on A1 paper. Now A1 paper is just it's a description of the length of the paper. A1 paper is slightly longer than our standard 8.5 by 11. It's more like a 8.5 by 12 or something like that, if I remember. It's just slightly longer, and it's commonly used in the UK. So this here is special paper too, very special paper. Let me lean this into the camera here. You can see you got my name on here. It's kind of like a cover sheet. This cover sheet was provided by Top Jocks, which was the DJ register that I was with. And this was a register that was operating out of the UK, out of London. I had applied for a membership on the registry. It's not the same as an agency. It's just a register. But it does, the registry had people in there that would help you out with certain things so that you can try to promote yourself a little bit better or get a better reach within the industry, as it were, in the UK. So this particular letter here was custom made so that I could pitch myself. It starts off saying, "Dear sir, as a professional DJ slash mixer slash producer familiar with the company's product, all I would have to do is just select as a professional DJ. I would like to be considered to be included on your regular mailing list for promotional copies of new products." So you could send this to record labels and they could send you promos. Okay, so that was cool to see that I still had one of these left over. Just a generic cover letter. All I would have had to do, I'll show you again. I'm not sure about the lighting. Here we go. Down here, all I would have to do is just sign it. Sign it and send it to various record labels. Now I got some other stuff here on my visual aids that I will show you a little bit later, because it all ties in together, getting back to the main focal point of saving your flyers. Now back to this. On the right side, pull all these sheets out. What I did, I don't remember exactly what time I did this, like what month of the year, and specifically what year I did this, but I can definitely say that it had to have been sometime after 2005, 2006 maybe. It might have been 2006, just because of the other stuff that's on here. But I did a profile on myself, DJ profile on DJ Purple. I'm not going to read every single thing on here because it's quite lengthy. It's got a lot of pages to this, but we'll just get straight to the meat. My name, my date, place of birth, favorite colors, purple and silver. Favorite Chicago radio stations. I've got old school and new school. Old school was WBMX 102.7 FM. Say no more on that, right? New school was WKKC 89.3. Favorite US DJs. Favorite UK DJs. I'll just give you a snapshot of the favorite US DJs. Frankie Knuckles, Mickey Mix and Oliver, Robert Owens, Terry Hunter, Mark Grant, Derek Carter, Kerry Chaos 623, Chandler, Lil Louis Vega, DJ Spin. Favorite UK DJs included Mike Mahar, Jeff Allen, CJ McIntosh, Jeremy Newell, and Nick Bridges. Had favorite record labels. Old school labels. Of course, we know who the top three old school record labels were in Chicago. DJ International, Trax, and Hot Mix 5. But then also had new school labels, a few from Chicago, a couple from New York, a few from London. I even included Peppermint Jam from Germany. Then I've got my music style, soulful dance, classic combination of commercial hits and hot underground records mixing a way to maintain a total club experience. I even gave my preferred beat count, 124 to 128 beats a minute. But now, next page, milestones. I've got my milestones in here. You can see this for yourself here. Let me move it close here. My milestones, beginning with the month and year that I first discovered the hot mix philosophy. That's really the best way to say it, because I was always exposed to music of all types. Breakdance, new wave, R&B, disco, jazz, you name it, I heard it, but I never heard it mixed continuously until December of 1984 on radio station WBMX. Mickey Mix and Oliver was the DJ that I heard, the first DJ that I heard doing that, and then the rest just kind of snowballed. So I'll talk about that. Then I'll write down 1992 to 1993 was my internship at WFIT. And I did mention that a couple of times before. Didn't mention that as many times as I've mentioned other stuff of my history, but this is still equally as important as anything else that I would have mentioned, because of the fact that I do radio so much now. I owe all of that to it just being in my DNA from 1992 to 1993. At Patrick Air Force Base, Cocoa Beach, Florida, WFIT, I mentioned that as Florida Institute of Technology. House music was now getting national attention, in which it definitely was. I wanted to get behind the scenes at a college radio station and eventually introduce house music into a playlist. I worked on Wednesday nights and sat in on some shows featuring DJ Spider D. I also say the time spent was very rewarding. I was fortunate enough to earn a staff t-shirt and a radio license application as a reward for my internship. And I did mention that at that time, you needed a radio license for any type of radio. College radio, public radio, commercial radio, talk radio, sports radio, whatever it was. If you were on an FM dial or an AM dial, you needed a license at that time. So that was that. September 1993, I call it the profession begins. Wasn't really a profession per se, because this was part-time, but still, that's when I got the equipment. Also did a gig at a wedding reception for some co-workers. Just required a lot of smooth jazz, but I snuck in a couple of house records that were jazz-based. Terry Hunter with Symphony of Love, and the Underground Crew, which was Sax Cells. July 1994, change of scenery. That's when I talk about relocation to RAF Alconbury, UK, hooking up with Amon Sherd, who at that time was DJ Intrigue. John V. Dub was a British chap, and then DJ Maestro was another American GI. So it was three of us American guys, and then a British guy, just kind of hitting the circuit locally. And then that's when I changed my name to DJ Purple. April 1995, The Zone versus Cotton Base. I think I still have a flyer for that in my stash here. We'll see. But that was one of my life-changing moments, because halfway through the set, I had a 1 hour set. Halfway through the set, I'm full of sweat. The venue is all fogged up because the walls had mirrors on them, and the mirrors were getting foggy from everybody dancing. Short and dry there. July 1996, big break. I call that the big break because that's when I moved. I had to relocate from Alconbury to RAF Mildenhall. And actually, July 1996, I call it the big break because I got into the music scene. It was August of 1995 that I had to move from Alconbury to Mildenhall. So I had to restart all over and all of that kind of stuff. And in July 1996, the big break came thanks to this venue called Social Intercourse that was in Newmarket. Newmarket had an explosive scene, and I was finally able to break in to doing opening sets with Chris Corbett at the helm. So that's what that was referring to. Got another page. So page 2 of my milestones. Have everything written out there, right? March 1997, I call this the Royal Homecoming. That's when I came home on leave and was able to do an opening set just for kicks at the Warehouse on Randolph on a Thursday night. But also had a guest mix feature on WKKC where they played a tape that I actually recorded just at the beginning of the year. I recorded this mix in January, brought it with me back home, and that's the mix that they played. Got massively nice reception. August of 1997, Battle of the DJs at Club Evolutions in Wellingborough. That's when I basically decided I was going to do this thing hot mix style. Excuse me. I had a 15-minute set, and in that 15 minutes, I played 12 records. You don't get more hot mix than that. I came in second place. I'm an American battling against other UK guys, and for me to come in second place, that's pretty significant. January 1998, I call this Let There Be Sound because that's a new residency with another Chicago guy. We play at Newmarket, and then our club thing Kind of goes around the region. December 1998, The Goodly Wednesday. That I'm going to defer until later because that's still a special thing, and I've got other receipts regarding that. But yes, December 1998, special moment. January 1999, Garage City, another big break because Garage City was Bobby and Steve. Garage City eventually turns into this. No, this says Groove Odyssey, but before Groove Odyssey, there was Garage City. Still, Bobby and Steve were at the helm of that. I played opening set a few times as part of the DJ laboratory. Then you've got March of 2000 with Emotivo. Emotivo was a new innovation at the club at RAF Mildenhall. So this time house music is coming onto the bass. Nick Bridges is at the helm of this. I get involved with that opening set. This was initially conceived as a one-night only event, but it went over so well, it was requested 2 more times during a 10-month period. So we got 3 total nights of Emotivo, bringing house music, like a pure house music event night at RAF Mildenhall. Not house music sprinkled with other genres, but no, a pure house music set. It was fabulous. Then you've got April of 2001 with Paradise, which is a new venue, at Romford, which is a suburb of London, residency with Chrissy T of Garage City. Here we go again. Now we got page 3 of milestones. Here you go. You get a chance to see those paragraphs. I'm just writing it all out. August 2001, I call this one The Dream Come True. After 7 years of wishful thinking, another dream finally came true to play at the world-renowned Ministry of Sound, London. That's right. In the Baby Box, the featured DJs were Dan Smith and Conan Manchester, collectively known as Liquid People. Supporting act is myself and DJ K. Farrell, my good buddy. And so this was one of the best nights ever. From the historical context, Sean and myself were the first American active duty military DJs to play at the club. I don't think that has ever happened since. I don't think any military personnel from the U.S. have ever played at the club. Now, American DJs have come through there. Frankie Knuckles, David Morales, Terry Hunter, Louis Vega, Kenny Dope. Lots of Americans have come through, but I don't think any of the Americans who have been through the club were in uniform. So I think me and Sean were the first, and to this day still the only ones that have done that. And also, side note, I did mention Garage City. Garage City was at Bar Rumba. Once again, Bar Rumba was another legendary spot during the 90s. And again, Bobby and Steve, loads of Americans came through there. Terry Hunter comes to mind first off again. Steve So Curly, Lenny Fontana. I think I might be the first American active duty military person to spend at Garage City, or at Bar Rumba in support of Garage City. So again, I'm going to claim those two. Claiming those for sure. Then September 2001, this is the bittersweet moment. The 7-year itch finally gets to come to an end because it was time to go. I could not stay in the UK any longer. But again, September 2001, on my penultimate weekend in the UK, I played what would be one of my best sets at Garage City. I felt the full range of emotions knowing that I would be transferring back to the US and that I would embark on a new beginning. Somehow I felt that the 22nd of September, that was the date, 22nd of September would not necessarily be my last set at Garage City. I'm still keeping that hope alive that one day we can come back and do something for that. In the meantime, though, I have been doing a few Garage City dedications, so, no, maybe. Let's fast forward to 2003. July 2003, I call this one Tour de France. 20 months after my return to the U.S., I resumed my status as an international DJ. This time the location was Lyon, France. The stage was set for the grand opening of Le Zèbre, a wine bar. The DJs were myself, DJ Come of Age, he's a DJ consortium partner, my man Ira, and K. Farrell, who visited from the UK. After I had left, he was still able to stay in the UK. So he came over to support us. The most special moments of this trip occurred from day one. People were friendly, the food was good, and most amazingly, we played more sets than originally planned. This is the good part coming here. The initial plan was for us to play 3 to 4 consecutive nights at Le Zèbre, but with unscheduled performances at a record store, university radio, and 3 different clubs, I played a record 10 sets in a 6 consecutive night period. I virtually played from the moment I arrived in town until the moment I left town. The most gratifying note was that we were invited to come back soon, perhaps for the new year. 6 consecutive nights I was doing something in town. But here again, the mathematics. You have a 6-day window that I'm in town, but I'm playing 10 gigs. So there's something going on every night, totally unscheduled. I barely had time to wash my clothes. That's how amazing that was. So that's it for the milestones page. But wait, as they say, but wait, there's more. There's more. Hold on. Wait. This right here is the list of all of the locations that I had played. Again, I'm saying that this had to have been constructed around 2005 based on the information that I had in here. Oh no, 2006 maybe. I listed all the spots that I played at. Now again, I'm trying to make sure that you can see this, trying to take advantage of the lighting and all of that. Cloud is all those locations on this sheet, plus this one here. A bold and italicized prior residencies. Had a residency at Muswell's Pub. That was my first resident. Galaxy Club at RAF Mildenhall. I was a resident. The Smokehouse in Beck Row, UK. Resident. Celebrities Nightclub in Newmarket. Resident. Opening sets, but it counts. Tiger's Head Pub at Mildenhall Village. Resident. Maid's Head Pub, Mildenhall Village. Resident. The White House in Newmarket. Resident for Let There Be Sound. Let There Be Sound was the club. The White House was the location, but the club set, the party, the name of the party was called Let There Be Sound. The Fez Club in Cambridge, UK, we'll call that a semi-residency because I was a frequent visitor, and so I got spot nights. Like every couple of months I would come through and spin. Bar Rumba, again, semi-residency, because Bobby and Steve, well, it was Chrissy T who was the scheduler, so he would schedule me in once every 3 or 4 months to open up for the Garage City DJ Laboratory. DiMaggio's in Attleboro, UK, residency. Carew's Bar in Bury St. Edmunds, residency. Toxic 8, Cambridge, UK, residency. Costello's, Bury St. Edmunds, residency. Opium Lounge, Romford, UK, residency. But then again, the rest of these locations, which I also mentioned, Ministry of Sound, Le Zèbre Bar, Ambassador in London, which is really, Ambassador in Lyon. That is a legendary spot right now. As a matter of fact, I just saw on Facebook that David Morales is going to be over there very soon. So I played at some pretty hip spots that are legendary. Garage City for Bar Rumba, Ministry of Sound, Ambassador, Warehouse 3 in Chicago, the warehouse on Randolph. So that's my list. And then some other stuff from, as I mentioned before, Top Jocks DJ Registry. This is from 2012. Got a little photo opportunity there and all that kind of stuff. You write up. They had links for the page. This is also from 2012. Something else where you got the photo, additional write-ups. Once again, the list. I gave them this whole list. But now this time the list is extended. This goes beyond Leon. By this time, I was in Utah. No. I take it back. This time I was back in the Chicagoland area because I was in Kenosha, Wisconsin. So it mentioned some spots that I did in Salt Lake City, Utah. Reconnecting with my buddy, K. Farrell. We did some stuff in Salt Lake City. I was able to do some stuff locally in Provo, Utah as well. And then, eventually when I got back this way, it's Kenosha, I'm in between Milwaukee and Chicago. Now, that's just the write-ups that I did, profiles and all that. Let me put this to the side. Okay, now I've got something really good to show you. Excuse me. Sorry about that. A little frog in the throat, but it's no problem. We'll handle that. All right. Now, the heart of the matter. In this here, I've got flyers on top of flyers on top of flyers. And not only did I save these flyers, but I took things a step further and got them laminated. So here we go. We're going to just kind of zip through a lot of stuff. I've got them right here on the side. I'm going to flash them across, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Up and coming DJs. DJs who have been spinning records for 5 years or less. Or even if you're mentoring somebody, if you've got somebody who's asking you questions and they're shadowing you and all that kind of stuff. This is the good part. Why it's beneficial to save your flyers. Okay, here we go. Make sure y'all can see it. Make sure the flashing, the glare is not too terribly bad here. This is when we were doing hip hop and R&B and soul. I actually dipped into that a little bit. This is for Emotivo at the Galaxy Club at RAF Mildenhall. Okay. This one is also for the Galaxy Club at RAF Mildenhall for Emotivo. Right? Boom. Grand Central, Mike Maher. And just as a side note, Grand Central is the stage of, not necessarily at this location because this was at the Q Club in Cambridge, but at the time when it was at the Junction in Cambridge, one of my best memories was going to that spot for those club nights, including Terry Hunter. One night had Paul Trouble Anderson. One night had David Camacho. They had some legends come through there. Transatlantic. Again, let's roll this one here. K. Farrell, Son of a Gun, Purple. Okay, so these next three here are definitely going to be good to explain. These two are the same venue, just two different colors. Giving a little bit of freedom of choice here. So you got that. Same kind of stuff. Coalition and Fresher and Firkin. And then, of course, this one here, Connection Underground. Let me tell you what was going on with these. These parties, one at Manhattan's nightclub in Norwich, that's this one here, and then this Fresher and Firkin was in Cambridge. What we were doing on this one was connecting a couple of different subgenres. You know, people are so they were so heavy into genre back then. It's fine, you know, it's all dance music, right? We had the US style of garage, the US style of house, and then there was UK garage and UK two-step. And what we were doing, we're merging those branches together to form a nice kind of like a weave through. So I would go first, bring in the soulful stuff with all the vocals and all the singing and the stuff that kind of gets you grooving, right? The next guy was Detox. He would be the one who would bring in that UK flavor, the UK garage and two-step, and then K. Farrell, Sean, will close it out with the upfront stuff, which would kind of bring it back to house, but just more stylish, disco heavy and whatnot. So that was that. Now we got some other stuff here with my man, Son of a Gun, Steve Gunn, Bell Hotel and other spots. This one is at the Break in Bury St. Edmunds. Passport Dance, Immigration. That was the name of the party. This one is Chimes at the Bell Hotel. Bell Hotel was a nice kept secret. You can get your boogie on over there. Once again, got Eminence. We called it Chemistry of Sound. Pretty cool to play on that. Just as a side note, what I see here now, which is really cool, I was heavy on trying to get business cards done too. Here are a bunch of different business cards that I had. At the time, my phone number was 01842 813 115. I also had a pager. Put those phone numbers on there, email address and all that. So here are some of my old business cards. Make sure that comes through okay. There's that one. There's that one. There's that one that I liked a lot. I love the way that came through. We got this one too. Alright. That one. And finally that one. A little cheesy, but hey, I still held on to it. Now, again, another flyer here. Yep. That's actually me right here. They just put that on there because they couldn't get a picture of me at the time of publication of the flyer, so they just they took a pot shot at me, but hey, whatever. I still showed up and played. These next two here, definitely good. Again, I mentioned it on my sheet, my one sheet. Paradise with Chrissy T at the Opium Lounge in Romford. Look at the front of that one. That's kind of cool. That's groovy. This one here was for the launch party. Considerably longer. But again, it's got all the pertinent details. There we go. Yeah, they say New York City sounds because my style was more relatable to the New York City vibe, even though I'm from Chicago. New York sounds were a little bit more melodic and a little bit more soulful, whereas Chicago was tough, but I'd still blended both together. And then look at this, how it's kind of majestic looking there, right? Again, business cards. There's a business card from the Opium Lounge. I just kept it because it was just dope. I loved the Opium Lounge in Romford. It was very, very stylish. It was very chic. You could play the sexy house music in there and people were dancing. Now, this next set I'm going to show you is from the other residency, Let There Be Sound. Here we go. Now, this one was at the Terrace in Colchester. So that's one of our appearances, but that's not necessarily the resident club, the location. We took our club sound on the road, and so at the Terrace was one of those locations where we went. This one was Golds at Leicester. And let me put this one up real close so you can see who one of the featured DJs was. Hope you can see that. There we go. Lenny Fontana. Yeah. We had the legendary Lenny Fontana at our club spot for Let There Be Sound. They were pulling some heavy hitters in. This one, once again, is at the Terrace. Look at that. Look at that visual. And then, of course, look at how that goes. And, of course, this one here is at our home base. We started it off at the White House in Newmarket. So we got all that going on. And this one is for the launch party. This was the launch of Let There Be Sound. There we go. We were in the second room there. Boom. Other locations that I played. Here we go. The Great White Horse in Ipswich. There we go. There's that right there. That was another sweet, sweet party. I was able to just lay it all out on the line with the soulful sounds. I mentioned the Goodly Wednesday. Check out some of the names on this. We got, well, of course, DJ Disciple. But where am I? There I am, playing with Dan Smith. Here we go again. Check out some of the other names that came through. CJ McIntosh, Kerry Chandler. Oh, where am I? I'm over there. This time squeezed in between the Liquid People and Jeremy Newell. Got to play alongside with Jeremy Newell. Oh, here we go again. Goodly Wednesday. Check out the names who came through on this one. And then, whoa, there's my boys, Bobby and Steve. They misspelled Sean's name, but it's DJ Sean from the Bronx. Well, there's only one DJ Sean from the Bronx. That'd be K Farrell. So K Farrell also got the chance to play along with Bobby and Steve. Nick Bridges, boom, there I am there. All right, now, a couple more from the Goodly Wednesday. Again. Oh, there's my man Terry Hunter. Oh, and look there. DJ Disciple. I opened for DJ Disciple. And this one here. Let me put this one close to so you can see. Chrissy T, Garage City. Oh, what's that? Terry Hunter. Supported by DJ Purple. Oh, yeah. I opened for Terry Hunter. And this is what was special about this. You know how I said that, wait, let me grab the other file here. I said that December 1998. What a night. So I'll just go ahead and read it real quick. Goodly Wednesday was a midweek jam held at the Fez Club, Cambridge. The resident DJ was Dan Smith. At the time, American DJs were making regular guest appearances in London and Cambridge. Terry Hunter was one of them, and I had managed to see his performances quite a few times. You saw the other flyers with Terry's name on it. This particular night would be unforgettable for both of us. For me, it would be for the fact that I would have the opening set, as you just saw on here. Terry Hunter, supported by DJ Purple. For him, it would be for the fact that he was not made aware of my set until he arrived on the night. And that's after that night I gained the semi-residency. So yeah, he had absolutely no idea that I was going to be opening for him. So he comes through, you know, at the way that the Fez Club was set up, the DJ booth was way off to the side over here, and you had to go through the crowd to get to the booth. Like when you come up the steps, come through, wiggle around through the crowd, and so when you come through the crowd, you automatically see who's on deck. So I'm doing my thing, and as you can see with this photo here, I'm doing my thing. So I'm looking out. I see Terry making his way up to the front. he sees that it's me, and the look on his face was priceless. He was shocked. It's like, what? So, and I just kept playing and warming up for him, and then he, of course, just takes over. So, you notice I showed you the first picture. Of course, here's the second photo. I'm still doing my thing, and look who's in the back. That's him waiting for me to hand him the decks. And of course, finally, he gets on and he does his thing. You notice the thing there too is that at this time, Terry was notorious for always rocking the Sox cap. As was I, as you can see in those photos. I was always rocking the White Sox cap at the clubs. And you know who, of course, is notorious for rocking the Sox cap now is Miggity Mike Dunn. So that was I love looking back at that flyer because it's just one of the best nights ever, especially since he was so shocked by all of that. Other flyers. Here's one that I created myself for something that I was doing completely on my own at the On Base Club. This was at RAF Mildenhall. I call this the Battle of the DJs. Optimus Prime, R&B and Hip Hop versus DJ Purple, House and Garage. This is the equivalent of, let's say you have a battle of alter egos between Cashmere and Green Velvet. Cashmere is more soulful house. Green Velvet is more hard-edged techno. But they're the same person. Well, that's how this was, because Optimus Prime for R&B and hip hop and DJ Purple for house and garage were the same person. It's all me. I took on the Optimus Prime moniker because I was finding myself dipping a little bit into the R&B and hip hop stuff so that I can try to fill some gaps on bass. There were some times where they had a need for a warm-up DJ to fill in for the regular DJ who was off. So I was like, well, I do have some hip-hop and R&B records. I'll play for an hour. Not necessarily any pressure to try to do like the best mixing, but to kind of just go in there and just fill the gap real fast. Or other times during happy hour nights where they just needed some old school stuff, I can go in that way. So yes, that was one that I created for myself. Once again, we've got the rap and R&B and soul and all that kind of stuff. And this took place at the Smokehouse at Beck Row. And guess who is on there as the guest DJs? We also have this. Again, the soul thing at the Smokehouse. Boom, let's move that up in there. And the baddest, and I do mean the baddest DJ in the land, was this guy right here, DJ E. Ness. That dude was cold on the ones and twos. Special birthday party. My name is not on there, but because I'm the DJ, I had this laminated. You also have some of these here from the Galaxy Club. I mentioned the Galaxy Club at RAF Mildenhall. I laminated these because I've got special nights circled. You have an R&B and house and hip hop night in the ballroom. Same for this one, variety, rock and techno, variety in the lounge. Friday nights were in the lounge. Saturday nights were in the ballroom. The ballroom was a bigger space. The lounge was, again, a smaller space. So on the Friday night where they had house, I'd be in there. Saturday nights, if they had the combination stuff, I would be in there. In the support role. So you got that. Oh yeah, and again, this is from March of 1996. Okay. This one is from January of 1996. And we've got a Saturday night for some house sounds. Okay. So we've got that there. This one's December of 1995. We've got a house night. Or soul, yeah, well, we've got some soul and house with Dollar Bill. We even have a house night with Enes in the lounge on a Thursday. So that worked out pretty good too. Enes could do it all. And we also have December 1995. You can see that. Got some Thursday nights of house and R&B. Friday night, just like that. Got that laminated. Now this is from some times when I came back to the States, and this was when I was in Fort Walton Beach, Florida. Got to smooth myself over to Pensacola. Here we go. Tortured Soul. I was the opening set for them. One thing that was fabulous about Tortured Soul is they were incredibly talented, to the extent that I will always remember this. The last record that I was dropping before turning it over to them was Closer Than Close, the remix by Frankie Knuckles. And the record is playing, is doing its thing, and all of a sudden, as I'm getting ready to stop, I hear the bass line being exactly the same as what I was playing on the vinyl. And I look around, and these guys have already tuned up, they're ready to jam on, and they are playing along with the record. So they're playing live, in time, in tune, everything, along with the record that I'm playing. So if all I had to do was just bring the fader down, they could absolutely take over, and you wouldn't even tell the difference of what was going on. That's how talented they were. Then you've got this party called Street Level at Seville Quarter, and I was involved with that a few times. So we've got that one laminated. And then finally, when I decided, this was in Utah, when I decided on a name of my mix show, when I finally did a radio show. It was an internet radio show, but it was a radio show nonetheless. I called it Soul Revival. This was with JerseyDJs.com. So now, that is all of the laminated stuff, on top of everything that I read off to you. But, as we say in these commercials, or at least the way that you hear them, but wait, there's more. You got these flyers that I laminated, right? Got all these flyers. I just showed you a mother load of flyers. Actually, there is the one flyer that I have laminated, but I was only able to have this one copy, and it's on my collage. You can see back here in the background, you've got collages and stuff. Part of the collage is the whole cotton-based thing versus the Zone at Laristos. I've got to read this one. I must read this. The Zone versus Cotton Base. This is from my list here again of the milestones. April 1995. The Zone versus Cotton Base. Easter Monday, 2 venues, 1 club at Laristos. The Zone was house music, while Cotton Base was R&B and drum and bass. This turned out to be one of the most amazing nights. I had a 1-hour set that turned into an aerobic workout. 30 minutes into my set, I was drenched in my own sweat. The walls and mirrors were wet because of condensation. Again, that was amazing. That was absolutely amazing. The flyer was not in my stash here. I forgot about that, but it's in my collage. So then I said, but wait, there's more, right? Well, besides flyers, how about I mention something that I've told this before, many moons ago. 2 favorite magazines that I would get were DJ Magazine and Mix Mag. The thing about Mix Mag that was really cool is that their club listing was massive. So here's an example of a copy of Mix Mag. The club listing included stuff that was going on all across the country. It's the ultimate UK listings guide. I'll let you read this part for yourselves. Okay, here we go. Bring this up close so you can see it. I want to make sure that it comes through. See that? Over 700 clubs reviewed. 700 clubs in this magazine. And guess whose name appears in one of them? Hold on. There you go. Bringing them closer so you can see it there. There be sound. So not only do I have flyers, but I have a magazine mention. This is from January of 1998. This one is February of 1998. There you go. Wait. Let me make sure you got that there. Chicago tip. All right. We've got that. Once again, Mix Mag. This one is March of 1998. The club listing. Ultimate UK Listings Guide. Once again. Let's get to that page. There we go. There we are. There we are. There we are. Make sure you can see that there. We'll make sure it comes through okay here. All right. So again, it's not just the stuff that you write down in your day planner and transfer to a file or a listing or a profile. It's the flyers, and it's also the magazine mentions. This one is from April of 1998. This one is a double set. This missed two things here that were going on, that were upcoming. Okay, hold on. Let's get that over there real nice and good there. All right. You should see that pretty good there. Yep. Just that. And finally on here, we've got May of 1998. Mix Mag. And let's get to that page. Club listing once again. There's that. So there you got it. Flyers and a few photos, a couple of captures on the night with Terry Hunter in the mix. I got other ones. I got other photos of me in the mix. We've got a profile with my milestone listing, places I played, and all that kind of stuff. We've got the flyers, all the flyers laminated, and these are included in my collages, along with the one that's not necessarily in here, but it is laminated, and it, again, is really part of the collage. One more thing we're going to show you, and then I'm going to wrap things up because we're coming up on an hour. Again, I had showed you, let's get back to this real quick. I had showed you the template, this letter right here on the cover here of the letterhead. Dear Sir, requesting mailing list, all that kind of stuff. Well, along with that, I kept some other stuff that I had to fill out. Rude Awakenings promotions, a reapplication form. They sent this to update their mailing list because I got a few records from them. And so here's this reapplication form. I had to fill out some of my details. Notice Opium Lounge in Romford, Fez Club in Cambridge. And then on this side, we've got a chart. I charted some stuff. charted some stuff here with the club reactions. Let's try to get a little bit closer there so you can see some of that. Yeah, Lego. I had charted Lego. Charted Arnold Jarvis. Yep. So there's that. Champion Records. Mailing list application. Rude Awakening Promotions. U.S. Garage and House. Disco and Filtered House were my chosen subgenres, if you will. And again, on the other side, was I a radio DJ at the time? No. But, listing my club details. Friday night, Paradise at the Opium Lounge. Capacity 650. Promoter's phone number. Here's the press release from Opium Lounge. So besides the flyer and the business card, here's a press release. I'm not going to read the whole thing here, but I'll just give you a snapshot of what was going on there. They made a really big deal about this. Look at that. All those paragraphs. That's how they did. They got down with it. They were for real. Dear Sir or Ma'am, Reggie Davenport, a.k.a. DJ Purple, is a resident for Opium Lounge and plays at numerous other venues. Regards, Tony Grimley, PR and event manager. Look at that. Once again, Champion Records. This is the acceptance letter. So, there we go. Got the hookup. Was able to get all that. And also, just one other thing. This is not necessarily the same as everything else that I just showed you, but this is still very significant as far as I'm concerned. Because back in the early 90s, before I even got to the UK, I was in contact with Kelly Wilcox at Gherkin Records. And if I needed some stuff that I couldn't find right away, I would reach out to her and see if she could hook me up. You know, can I get this here? Because I can't get it in the stores if they have anything that's still in the back room or whatever. Here's a letter that she sent me. It says, Reg, I need some stores down there. Can you give me some leads? Found this test of Slam Dance. Enjoy, Kelly. What she meant by giving her leads was this. Could I give her some information about record shops located near my base at Cocoa Beach that they could distribute to directly? I was trying to broker a deal to where the local record shop in Rockledge, Florida, because that was really the one. Rockledge was located about maybe 25 to 30 minutes away from the base. And that's where they had a selection of house music, but it was just all the commercial stuff that had the house remixes. So Jomanda, Got a Love for You, the Steve Sir Curly remixes, or they had Paula Abdul remixed. Vibology was remixed by Steve Hurley. They had CeCe Peniston there, Robin S., Kathy Dennis. They had Snap. They had a sizable chunk of house, but the commercial stuff. And what I was trying to do was see if they would accept direct distribution from Gherkin to send them the underground stuff. So as examples of what the record shop could get would be Armando, Gershon Jackson, Ron Trent, Terry Hunter, some of those things. Unfortunately, it never went through, but I will always have that memory of trying to reach out and try to extend a distribution arm of Chicago House directly into a smaller market, and then kind of blow it up some. So, with all of this stuff here, big picture, all of this stuff right here, it all goes back to the title of this video. Or it all goes back to why I was prompted to ask that question so many months ago. Who still saves their flyers? Because for every little bit that you do today, you plant the seeds into building a legacy 5, 10, 15, 20 years later. When you're not even able to do it any longer, you can still look back and say, I did this, I did that, I did that, I did that, I contributed, I held my own. Now again, looking at me, I am not DJ Superstar. I'm not jet setting. I'm not doing any of that. Right now, my biggest thing is just doing the radio thing. I still have a whole lot of fun doing my radio shows here in Chicago and contribute to other radio show, or I do other shows for other radio stations elsewhere, and I get a lot of joy out of doing that because it's still a way of contributing. And then if I get called up to do the occasional gig here and there, Chicago, Kenosha, Milwaukee, whatever, I'm down because it's the love of the music. But boy, looking at these flyers again gives me goosebumps. So again, I say, for those baby DJs who are just starting out or just getting into it, when you get a gig and somebody gives you a flyer, whether it be like they send it to you through social media, through your inbox, through your DM, whatever, or they give you a paper copy or a cardboard copy or whatever, ooh, you better keep at least one of those and laminate it and put it in a shoebox or somewhere. And the more that you accumulate that, the busier that you get, the more you'll have to look back on. And I'm also just thinking to myself that once I get done with this, I've got 2 people who I need to reach out to. One is in the local area. I might just send her this video anyway and just say, hey, give it a look. You got any questions, come and talk to me, whatever. But then there's another young lady who I first learned about her back in 2019 when I was getting ready to do my study abroad program for the summer over in Rome. And what was cool was that she was active duty Air Force and she was stationed at Mildenhall and she was DJing. So I'm like, wow, the fact that she got a write-up done. She worked in the services squadron, so her co-workers were so supportive of her and all that kind of stuff. They had a lot of encouraging things to say about her in the write-up for the article. That's like, wow, now that's cool to have your people back you up like that, because it's very rare to see an active duty person get the spot like that in a newspaper article for the base newspaper. Me and Sean tried that when we were getting ready to do our Ministry of Sound set, because we wanted to promote ourselves and then promote the fact that we were going to be the first active duty military people to play at that club. And it just never, the whole thing didn't come to fruition, but it didn't stop us from getting our groove. But again, the young lady had a nice write-up, and I was hoping to have met her, because during the study abroad program, it was 5 weeks. We had our weekends free. We can go wherever we wanted. So one of those weekends I took to go back to the UK to visit some friends. And while I was visiting the friends, I was hoping maybe we can go over to the base and I can look her up. But the logistics didn't work out, because when I went, she wasn't there. I think she was already on leave or something like that. So it didn't work out. We missed our paths, but I'm still going to reach out to her and see where she's at now. Is she still at Mildenhall? Because I did contact her electronically. I DM'd her a couple of times. I just never got to see her in person. So I'm going to reach out to her again. I'll show her this video as well and just see what she's up to. Is she still, if she's still pursuing this, or does she have any gigs on base, off base, whatever? And just encourage her to keep the flyers, no matter how many times you do it, even if it's just once a month, if it might be once every other month. But you get a flyer, keep it, laminate it, put it in the shoebox, build your legacy. As a closing note, I talked about Grand Central. Again, Grand Central was one of those parties that was once every other month, and they were the best times. I saved all of my Grand Central flyers, including the ones that I was directly involved with, but all of the other ones too. So it's not even just these. All of this is just what I was directly involved with. All of this stuff has my name on them. But I got other flyers for parties that I just went to that conjure up memories. So again, we just say save all of this stuff, especially the ones that you are directly involved with, because again, by saving this information, you put yourself in a position to set up your legacy, eventually even being able to have this top secret file that you put in your filing cabinet, because a lot of this was based off of information that I had on those flyers to say, yep, this flyer was what I did at such and such club. This one was for this thing here, blah, blah, blah. So you keep your flyers, you build your profile, you build your profile, expand your profile. Then you can get into doing an electronic press kit and having a bio. That way, when you decide, okay, I want to try to play at this club over here, you go to this promoter, and they start asking questions about, well, how busy have you been, blah, blah, blah. You could produce that profile, or you could show them the flyers from previous spots that you played at. It's building the steps. And again, I say the reason why I target those who are 5 years or less is because they're still moldable. You can still mold them. You can still push them, not necessarily to follow directly in your footsteps, but it's just fun to share that, hey, this is what I did. You can do the same way. The first generation, second generation people, they've already done the work. If they played in the 70s and the 80s and even the 90s, this doesn't really apply to them. Even the 2000s, it probably won't even apply to them either. But those up-and-comers, the ones who are journeymen, 5 years or less, or maybe 6 years, or maybe 7 years in, and you want to just look at, okay, so how can I get better at this? How can I get better at marketing? Don't worry about that part. Again, save the flyers, because the flyers are your marketing tool. The more flyers you save, the more that you're able to post, and the better chances you have at setting your own legacy, your own path, and creating your own way. You might have a fan base of 20 people, but those 20 people can multiply overnight if you just stay consistent. So with that, it's been well over an hour. It's amazing we still have some daylight. I'm going to get on out of here so that I can get some other homework type of stuff done, because I got a heavy schedule ahead of me. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to share. I also do have to say hello to a couple guys I didn't mean to ignore, but I wanted to stay focused on the camera here. Fabio, ciao. I do need to work on my Italian. I'm very guilty of this. I've just not been working on it at all. But yeah, as far as how I'm doing, molto bene. Molto bene. E tu? There we go. Berto in the building. Thanks for checking in. Hope you share this. Oh yeah, and again, for my Croatia crew, I'm gonna be reaching out to y'all for some favors in the weeks to come. Gotta do some more schedule tweaking. Some favors for, let's say, the month of March and April. I'll be reaching out to y'all for that. So that includes you, Berto. Get yourselves ready. In the meantime, that's it for now. Again, feel free to share the video with anybody that you know who are studying the craft, getting started, working on it, or they've been in it for a while, but you feel like they could probably use that extra motivation regarding the gigs that they've already done and all that kind of stuff. Or if you're mentoring somebody, anybody's asking you questions, share this with them and tell them, save your flyers. All right, I am out of here. Deuces. Oh no, wait. One more thing. Again, I said congratulations to Terry Hunter on that Grammy nomination. It's the second nomination for the Grammy. I know he's off to LA for the weekend, so he can get the party going on. Let's make room for that Grammy in Chicago so he can join the ranks of Maurice Joshua, because I think he was the last Chicago person to actually bring it home. So let's let them get this thing going. All right, that's it. I'm out. Catch you on the rebound.